This is what I made to so that I could re-spoke. I could re-spoke my Puch MS50D wheel rims and the hub. You can buy jigs or whatever, or try and make one where the wheel is vertical like this. But I decided to try this out. This is a piece of MDF square from an old IKEA Billy bookcase. What I did was I drilled a hole here. If you're familiar with the MS50D, you will know that this is the front axle, which has a plain hub, a plain sort of colour at this very end here. I think it's got a hole through it so you can grip on it. But what I did was I used a number 16 drill bit, drilled a 16mm hole, which being as it's MDF, it's got a bit of give in it, and hammered it in there, with nut on the end obviously, and it's really solid. It'll come back out again, I'm sure. So it's a really solid axle. It's really solidly fixed, but it doesn't have to be really. But that one is. And this is the hub that I re-spoked in the end. There's the original rims, original hub. These are drinking straws that I caught, and that was just at the time when I was re-spoking it. I wanted to stop these spokes from falling out, because on this part of the hub you actually have, if you can see here, the back wheel. They're easy to slip out. These actually will pull in. Then when you tension them up, they can't come back out again, but they can come out of this hole here. So to keep them in place at the time, I used those like McDonald's milkshake drinking straws, which I cut. Or you don't have the problem like that on this side of the hub because they're just a single hole. And obviously when you do start to put your spokes in, when you restart to spoke your wheel, you always do these ones first, because you need to get all of these in, and you'll find out as you go, these are the ones to do first, because these ones here, you can just undo them and slip them out like that, which you can't do with these ones. Okay, so this side first. This is a half hub model, which means that both of these, half of these spokes are one length, and the other half is the other 18, 36 spokes. The other 18 are a bit shorter, one's a bit longer. That's because of the difference in the width of the hub of the flanges here. Makes it slightly more complicated. The other thing I found was that this being the this is the front wheel, as far as I can see. Let's check. Oh, I'll check it later. But one wheel, on this one, I don't know if you can see, but I had to use because some of the spokes actually poked out, not all of them, but some of them were slightly proud, so I had to get a grinder and grind the ends off on some of them, on this particular one, and to do that, I finished up using just use a cheap drill. This is a grinding wheel that I bought. Either all the stuff I have here, and all the tools, either gotten from eBay or from Amazon. Didn't really go anywhere else for anything. It's a cheap grinding wheel, not that big, but it did the job. It did actually. This is fairly thin. I don't think you can get much less of a diameter than that, but it did actually hit the sides a bit, you know. It was just reasonably good fit. I went round, and all the ones that were proud, you could tell when you'd got them down flush because the spark stopped. So that's a tip. if you do, the other thing is, of course, use the drill in the direction that this nut here tightens. This is Gorilla Glue, by the way, on that side and on that side, to keep it from flying off. But when I tried reversing it, the direction of the drill, it did actually unscrew. So only use it one direction, where the drag tends to tighten the screw up. Okay, so far so good. Oh, no, I haven't re-spoke the wheel. That was a laugh. It took me about 3 attempts to get it right. But the just a tip is that you've always got to, because if you don't get it right, it can be a bit of a joke actually. But you should be successful, provided you follow the rule that it crosses over twice. It crosses here. They don't touch, but it crosses, and then it crosses again. Small cross, big cross, small cross, big cross. If you don't get these small crosses, it won't, you'll see. You'll finish up with a wheel that looks kind of weird, and you'll have every 4th spoke will be sticking out about an inch or so. So eventually, because I didn't actually, I took photographs of it before I removed the spokes, the old spokes, which were like completely knackered. They were rusty and you could almost snap them off with your finger. Yeah, I took photographs, but it's still hard to see how hard the actual spokes were laced up. But that's how it's done. They actually do seem to touch here, but not firmly. You know, they don't spit. They just touch, but they don't actually bend over each other, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's the. These are the new seal bearings that I put in. I'll explain to you later on how I got the old bearings out. It's a bit of a laugh, but they're in. It's all ready to, already prepared and ready to go now. But it did sort of, because I'm so fussy about this sort of thing, it did hold me up, and I sort of lost interest in this project for a while. And now I'm back again, and hopefully I'll have got over my perfectionist sort of thing, and get this project moving on again. The other thing I had to do was buy some washers. The reason why is I'll explain to you. These are just like roofing washers that I bought from a builder's merchants. Which I think they use them for when they're bolting down roofs. You know, they put the bolt through. But they're not a great fit for that. But all I wanted was to raise up this wheel so that I wasn't relying. This year wasn't being interfered with on the piece of wood here, and the same on that side. So these washers actually fit inside there. So the bearing will actually be on the inner race of the bearing. You'll see that if I do this, we'll just say pop that on. That should keep, you know, spin it pretty freely, you know, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. And the other thing, of course, you do is I put in a drill hole on the side with a wood screw, piece of coat hanger which I cut, and you can just bend this as to let's tighten this up a bit. You can bend this and make it into a pointer. Just bend it into position, and you can see there. I don't know if you can see that well. You can see there that we've got a sort of an indicator now. Very good indicator to where the rim is. Give it a spin. You can see it's not absolutely perfect. but it's not bad, is it? And of course you can bend it like that, and you can actually hear it, you know, you get that. But I mean, I think this isn't a high-speed motorbike, you know. That's, I'm going to leave it like that. The other thing, of course, is you've got to tighten the spokes. We're supposed to get these spokes, according to everything that people tell you, you're supposed to get them so they're all the same tension. Or you can always check that by I use like a tuning fork, you know, and you can go like this. Personally, I just like to feel it. You can get tension gauges, you know, but I mean the wheel to me, I am a bit sort of a perfectionist, and also there's worried about safety, but you know, these are, I can tell that this wheel is solid, you know, it is better than the rusty spokes that were already on it. So there's the two wheels, there's the little jiggery pokery, which I used to line up to the line. You can buy jigs, of course, that you know, you can put, you know, you can buy jigs that sit that way, and of course, your fortune, you know, but there's no reason why you have to do it in that vertical plane. Just as easy to do it like that, and actually, in fact, it is easier because when you come to do it, if you just get these top row of spokes and get it roughly right, it's only a matter of doing the bottom, the ones on this side of the hub. It's only a matter of just tightening them up a bit, and the weight of this here will give you an indication of where your wheel is to begin with. You know, so as far as I can see, what's the point in paying money for a jig that goes up and down? You know, and anyway, the amount of money that I've spent on this so far to be able to do a decent job on respoking them, oh, was it under 10 quid? Not even 10 quid. This is a little spoke spinner which I bought through either Amazon or eBay for a couple of quid. Wasn't the right size, it was a number, it says here, it's a 19, that's 18 and that's 19. When I actually got it, it's a nice little thing. When I actually got it, it was too small for the spoke nibbles, but I just used a small flat file, very small flat file, and this metal's quite soft, and I just opened it up slightly and it fits perfectly now. What one end does, must be that end, and you can see, perfect fit. And the other end is a little bit smaller. I'm keeping that in reserve just in case. So no point in opening that up if you don't need to. So I like to use this one. I've got one of the round ones. It's got all a variety of cutouts on it, but this one feels nice when you're actually sitting and when you're actually tensioning the spokes to get things right. It feels better. The other thing, of course, about this setup is you can put it on the table and you can sit and do it. And you know, when you get bored or you get you sit and have a cup of coffee or a tin of beer or whatever, and you can sit back and relaxing way of doing it instead of starting at a jig. You can just sit at the table, watch a bit of TV and take your time, and if you get fed up with it, you can stop for a while and go back to it the next day, which is what I did quite a lot. It did take me a long time to do this with all the mistakes I made, but I'm here now, it's done. You know, I'm happy with it the way it is. I used SKF seal bearings in here. I've got all the other stuff, and now really, there's no excuse for me not to put these, not going to put the tires and tubes on yet, but I am going to fit them onto the bike frame and check that the hubs, they are centered as far as I can see. But I'll make sure that they're not offset in the frame too much, if you see what I mean. Okay, I'll just end it there for the moment and come back to you with the next step. Thanks for listening, and bye.